Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
What I'm having continued challenges with is my binge-restrict cycle. This all started when I was in college, basically. I didn't know it was binge-restrict at the time. I didn't know what to call it. I just knew that I would eat a whole lot of food because I'd never had a meal card before, and that was just amazing. And so I just could go for anything, for any meal, and I did, and put on a good bit of weight. And then, of course, when an event would come along and I'd need to squeeze into an outfit, then I would diet. And I think that that is part of where it just kind of got me into that pattern. I do know, from just my journey of all of the boatload of therapists and counselors that I've been through, that they would always point out the why, but those whys didn't amount to a hill of beans because I still kept having problems. But your program is the how, and it's just changed my world, and I'm just so appreciative of the program. Back to the things that I need help with, it's the binge restrict, and it frustrates me like crazy, Dr. Glenn, because I'm a very educated person, and a lot of people are, but what frustrates me is that I can do all of these studies, but I can't handle this one behavior pattern that is just so much a part of me. So I stay just in a little cycle of being frustrated with that. I get up saying I'm going to follow my food plan, and I know how many calories I need. I do exercise every day. I'm very active. But then the pig has me save up calories, saying, don't eat all of those because I bet you can go without all of that. And then maybe we can have a little food party later. And so that's one of the things that I would really appreciate guidance on. And I lost 35 pounds about 10 years ago, and I've kept it off. And so I have a fear that those will come back on. So I don't think I've ever gotten a grip on my food plan since then.
The trigger for you, it seems, is when your pig starts to save up calories for later.
Exactly. Yes, that is it.
Well, I've got a really big secret about how to fix that.
Okay.
Best way to fix that is not to do it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to fix it. You could have a rule that says, I will eat so many calories by such and such a time.
Okay. And that's not one of my rules. Okay. I can add that.
For a while, I had a rule that I had to have 1,000 calories before noon because my pig was doing that.
Oh.
I'm a big guy. I eat about 3,000 calories a day most days. I don't really count, but just for proportion. Well, that's the best way, is not to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. I will add to my rule. I've never thought of saying, like, by a certain time of day, I will eat this many calories. That's going to make me do it, because usually I will go as long as I can with eating as little as possible. And then I find myself at dinner, I'm just starving, and then sometimes I can't stop. So, okay.
People that overeat at night typically don't eat enough in the morning. And they typically also don't have enough crunchy stuff with their lunch. So they're not having cruciferous vegetables, like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower and celery and carrots, things that really go crunch. They're not doing that during the day. Okay. And they're usually waiting to eat until too late in the day. And it creates just what you're talking about, a binge restrict cycle during the day.
Exactly. Yes. All right. That I can do. That makes a lot of sense to break it down into times of day and have I eaten this much by a certain amount.
Can we talk more specifically about that?
We can, yes.
Well, what do you think? How many calories should you have by when if you want to be sure you're not restricting?
Well, I know I'm supposed to have about 2,000 a day based on my activity level, my height and weight. So I guess maybe by after lunch, 1,000. I've never pieced it out like this.
What time would you have breakfast?
About 9:30.
About how big a meal should you have for breakfast?
Well, what I should have and what I do have is night and day. I usually eat a couple of scrambled egg beaters, not eggs, a piece of toast, and maybe a handful of almonds. So that's maybe 200 plus calories.
Maybe 250. I'm just guessing. What if you had a 400 calorie breakfast?
Wow. Okay. That sounds scary, but
Well, it's scary because your pig wants to save those calories for later.
no, I know. I know.
What do you think?
400. Okay. Could I do like 350?
How about 372?
373 and you've got a deal.
So you want to do 350 calories for breakfast at least?
Okay. Yes, at least.
Is this your regular food plan? Are you counting calories anyway?
Yes, I am. I mean, my real food plan is one that Fiona is familiar with. Won't use the name, but she said, yes, that's a good one to use.
Does it start with a great big W?
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
And another great big W. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you want to have 350 calories for breakfast before 10 o'clock?
Yes, before 10. That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. And then how many calories do you want to have for lunch?
I'm going to have to get used to that 372 calories because I'll be full. 400?
So you'll wind up having 750 calories by the time you're done with lunch.
Okay.
What time is lunch?
Oh, lunch is usually, if I eat about 9:30, it's like maybe 1 o'clock or maybe 1:30.
Okay. So breakfast before 10, lunch before 2?
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So 350 for breakfast, 400 for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that leaves you about 1,250 calories for dinner. Is that,
That's a lot. Well, about like late mid-afternoon, I like to have a cup of coffee and a little snack with it. So I could add some calories. I could have a more substantial snack
yeah?
than the little bitty stuff that I have. So yeah. And that's usually like 4:30 or 5.
Okay. So like by 5 o'clock, you have a 250 calorie snack or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I could do that. Yes.
Then you have 1,000 calories for dinner.
Whoa. Okay. Gosh. Okay. I know I have to do this.
Do you have to have 2,000 calories a day?
No, I don't have to have 2,000.
Are you overweight now?
No, I am exactly where I should be.
Okay.
In fact, I just weighed at the doctor's yesterday, and I was right on target. What, 1,800 should I have? Okay, I work out at least an hour and a half every day, and that's walking, light weights, or some yoga or something like that.
You might want to ask a nutritionist to review all this or a registered dietitian.
Okay,
It sounds about right to me. How tall are you?
5'6".
And you're not like running a triathlon. You're walking with light weights.
Yes. Oh, no, I wish I could run a triathlon, but no.
Okay. So 350 for breakfast, 400 for lunch, 250 for a snack. Is this going to be hard to remember?
No, I'm writing it down right now. I've got my little
Will you
pad
remember it throughout the day?
Do you know what I think I'll do, Dr. Glenn? I think I'll set my phone for an alarm that will just go off when I'm supposed to eat a meal, and then that's going to remind me to look at the calories. And I can keep this in the kitchen too.
You know, what occurred to me, if you needed to make it easier, you could say breakfast, lunch, and snacks were all 330. Then you'd have about 800 left for dinner.
Okay, I like that. That's easy to remember. So breakfast, lunch, and snack, 330, and the dinner would be the remaining calories.
Uh-huh.
I'm done with dinner by 8:30.
Okay. So it sounds like you'd never really restrict at dinner. You restrict during the day. It sounds like if you have breakfast, lunch, and a snack, and you have about 330 calories each time, and you've got your times for that, sounds like that would prevent you from restricting.
Yeah, a lot of times I haven't had but maybe 400 calories by dinner.
Yeah, and then you're going to want to binge after that.
Then I do my night binging, absolutely. Okay, I can do this. I like the way you've broken it down to 330 for each of those meals and then dinner.
So now you have a really clear structure, and now your pig is
Hmm.
going to come up with all kinds of reasons why you should restrict against that structure, but you'll be able to hear the squeals.
Yes, and I know that he will because he's real good at that. But just like, for example, yesterday I had made some cookies and I was just going to have just one with my coffee. And I did. But the pig, when I sat down with it, said, "Oh, you've worked out today. And so you could just eat as many as you want." And so I said, "No, you can eat as many as you want because I don't want to feel like I have a food hangover when I get up tomorrow morning." So I told the pig to eat them. And that stopped the squeal. It worked.
Because
He
the
said,
pig can't eat them. It
"Yes."
can't even eat them unless you feed them.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
So I wasn't going near the extra cookies.
Yes. What would it mean to you to stay on the straight and narrow like this and have like a solid blood sugar day in and day out
Hmm.
and be confident that you weren't going to restrict again and then binge? What would that mean to you if you could do that for a year or two?
Oh, Dr. Glenn, it would mean I could get my life back. I could go through a day without being consumed about what I should eat or not eat, being fearful. I would have a life outside of this. I just think about it and think, oh my gosh, that's a dream.
You'd get past the mental obsession.
Right.
If you were past the mental obsession, what kind of things would you be thinking about? What would you be doing if you weren't obsessed about food?
Well, I would have a lot more things if we didn't have this COVID virus. So I would like to be traveling and doing some fun stuff, but that's not really a good option right now. So that's what I would like to do is just go and be with family and have some fun and go and see some new places.
We'll have a normal life again sooner or later.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hopeful. That's what I would like to do. I just moved here, in fact, to be near family, and then boom, the COVID hit, and it's just been very frustrating, but that's what I hope to do. The other thing that I have trouble with is when I get together with family things, it's usually surrounded by food, and I have some conditionals for that, but sometimes I'm afraid that that will backfire on me when I have some things off my food plan. And then the pig will squeal and say, "Hey, that was really good. I know some other things we can eat too."
Wait. So if it's
But,
a conditional, then it's on your food plan, right?
oh, okay. Okay. I didn't understand it that way. All right. Okay. Well, then that one's not a problem.
Well, like for example, if you say I never eat flour except for once a month at a restaurant, then you have not broken your food plan if you have flour once a month at a restaurant.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That clarifies that because I was thinking, okay, I know it's a conditional. I can have it at some point. So then I shouldn't obsess over that.
The whole point of the conditional is to eliminate the guilt about it. It's to make
Okay.
decisions and put boundaries around it so you don't get carried away.
Hmm.
And you want to monitor it in case you're having trouble following it, or sometimes people make conditionals that interfere with their health and fitness goals. So they can write a food plan that says I can have one dessert every day, but then they notice they're not losing weight or they're gaining weight.
Hmm.
And so even though they're on their food plan, they might want to change the food plan. You don't have to feel guilty if you're following the plan.
Okay. All righty. You're right. Thank you.
Sometimes I know stuff.
Oh gosh, you know so much. I can't believe I'm talking to you. We can edit that out, but or we can't. I don't care. But I am just like, this is just the best. Thank you.
You're cute. You're cute. Why does your pig say that you can't do this? You can't have 330 calorie snacks meals during the day at 10, 2, and 5, and the rest for dinner? Why does it say you can't do that?
He says that I can't do that because there have been so many times that I haven't, and so I'm just fearful. And I know you want me to say 100%, or I've got to believe 100% that I'm going to stay on the plan, that I'm going to shoot for the bullseye. I want to do that, but then there's just a little tiny part of me that says, hey, we haven't always been right on target. And what's telling you that you're just going to poof, suddenly be okay? That's it.
Because you haven't always been right on target, so therefore you're not going to be able to hit the target?
Yes.
What do you think the Olympic archer thinks when they're aiming at the target and they realize that they haven't hit the bullseye every time before? What do you think they do at that point?
If I were an Olympic archer, I would have to tell myself, okay, maybe you missed it last time, but you're here to hit the target. And you know that you can because you have the skills to do it and the tools to do it. So we're going to do it.
You'd push those thoughts out of your mind, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And you just look at the bullseye and you try to become one with the bullseye.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's all we're doing. Is there any other reason that your pig says that you can't do this?
No, I can't think of any. Can you think of some?
I've heard about 100 of them, but it's what your pig is saying. The only reason your pig is saying that you're going to have to restrict again is because you've restricted in the past. That's all it says?
Yes, yes. That's all that I hear is that you can't do this, girl, because you've never stuck with this. You have hopped all over the map with docs and support groups and therapists. And so what makes you think that you can hang on to this one?
And what's the answer to that?
Because I can, because I am caging the pig and shooting for the bullseye.
That's absolutely true.
It is.
And you know that the more times that you've tried in the past, the more likely you are to succeed in the future.
Yes, yes, sir. That's true.
So the pig is saying that you're less likely to succeed because you've tried so many times.
Yes.
So you should just give up. But the truth is you're more likely to succeed because you've tried so many times.
Oh, okay. Because of the experience of, okay, all right. That makes sense. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because you learned something. Every time you went through it, it wasn't a total waste. You learned something every time.
Right.
You became a little stronger every time.
Right.
And now you're kind of combining this with these additional tools.
Mm-hmm.
You're more likely to succeed, not less likely to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, what have I been doing this 67 days? I keep it. In fact, I've got your poster on my wall because I posted on Facebook one time and you said this, and I read it every morning. If you can do a few days, you can do a few hundred. Just never binge now. And I read that and I know that. So, and when I do kind of get off track, I make myself reflect and evaluate why I did that, which the answer is always I didn't eat enough during the day. So now that you've mapped it out for me, Dr. Glenn, and I've got these certain calories and certain times to eat, I've never thought of it like that. So this is great. This is new. I like it. Thank you.
You're a cool lady, Beverly. You're a fun person. How confident are you that you're never going to binge again?
I am 100% confident that I am never going to binge again. I am not the pig. The pig is a separate thing over there, and I have wrapped up his little snout with duct tape, which we call Alabama chrome here, and it is holding him all in place.
What do you call it? Alabama crone?
Alabama chrome. Mm-hmm.
Alabama chrome. Okay, that's funny.
You use it to fix a lot of things.
I've only been to Alabama once, and all I saw was miles and miles of cornfields.
Okay, well, I'm living in basically one of the only few cities they have, but I moved here from Atlanta, so it's been a nice change. It's a slower pace, and it's near my family, so it's a great place to be and a great place to grow up. But yeah, it's just a joke on duct tape.
Little Southern joke there. Do you have any questions or concerns?
Oh, you know what? First, I just want to thank you and your team. Everybody just is sincerely supportive. I've never had a program where it's just so personalized. And I just appreciate that because that's what I needed. Your book was great, and I got through a few weeks using those tools, but I thought, I need to get into the real program. And the real program, look at this. I mean, this is amazing, and it is such a bargain. I mean, who offers all of this for the little price that you charge?
Thank you.
Oh, I mean,
We're trying to help people. We're really trying to help.
And it comes through. It really does. It just shines through. Thank you. You have just helped me so much today. I've got this. Got my plan. It's going in the kitchen.
Beverly, are you 100% sure that you're never going to binge again? Are you really 100% sure?
I am really 100% sure, Dr. Glenn. You have convinced me of all of the things I need to have in place to have that 100%. And that's the only direction I'm going to take.
Okay, dear. Have a lovely evening. It was delightful to talk to you.
I will. I can't wait to hear this, and I'm sorry for my drawl, but
Oh, I love
you
it.
can edit that
I
too.
love it. I spent summers in the South when I was a kid. I love it. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.